Hello, my name is Marcus, and welcome back to the channel. So, as we all are probably aware, if we follow the Dragon Ball Super manga, it officially ended 2 years ago with the legendary Super Saiyan Broly being able to channel and master the calmness of his powers instead of just going straight berserker. This is accumulated with the sparring session between Ultra Instinct Mastered Goku and Beast Gohan. Just a magnificent ending to the Dragon Ball Super manga that we had been reading and calculating for multiple years. Like I said, it's been 2 years. We did get that one offshoot of chapter 104 of Goten and Trunks, kind of, becoming superheroes and taking on the Red Ribbon Army. But now, finally, since of course we got the announcement at the beginning of the year that the Dragon Ball Super anime is going to be returning in the fall, if I'm going to guess sometime in October, with the Battle of the Gods remake that is going to eventually lead through the majority of the Super anime arcs with new animation and drawings that will eventually lead into the Galactic Patrol saga, which will of course reveal Moro in anime form finally. So seems we're finally getting somewhat of a continuation of the manga as well. Not a Black Frieza arc, but it seems like on October 23rd, Toyotaro has kind of teased, somewhat announced that we're getting another one-off shoot. If I had to take an educated guess, it's going to be another special like the Goten and Trunks, little one-off special that we got around this time last year. It was actually around like March that we got that Goten and Trunks one-off special. So very exciting news, man. I was kind of hoping for a continuation of Black Frieza, but I kind of don't want to see the continuation of Black Frieza arc in the manga until we, at least get to the Moro arc in the anime, because you don't want to get too far. I mean, we're already two arcs ahead of with the manga than compared to the anime. So for us diehard fans of Dragon Ball, I mean, we already know what's going to happen for the most part within the next two arcs, within the Galactic Patrol prison arc to the Moral arc, which would lead into the Granola arc, where essentially Goku is able to master his Ultra Instinct form, the silver hair, which will lead into him being able to incorporate his own saying and heritage into the mastered Ultra Instinct form, which will be more accustomed to his fighting style rather than having to fight with a clear and calm mind. And then we see Vegeta get his Ultra Ego form as well. All this accumulates throughout these two arcs. So I feel like I want to see that in anime form first before we continue on with the Black Frieza arc in the manga. So I don't mind the one-off special that we're going to be getting October 23rd. That's the date that Toyotaro has teased that we're going to get some kind of a one-off continuation of the story that's going to maybe either going to be a remake of a story that we've already gotten, or it's going to be a one-off story that takes place maybe in one of the other story arcs or sagas that we haven't seen before. So I'm excited for it. Anytime we get something new Dragon Ball related, your boy is here for it, and I'll be here on this channel to talk about it, because obviously without Dragon Ball, without Dragon Ball Z, without Dragon Ball Super, there is no Mark Jack 79, period. I tell you what, for this little one-off special, my first hope, I kind of want them to throw us for a loop. I wouldn't mind seeing, a training montage, a little special with Frieza. Explain to us how the hell he reached the Black Frieza form, even though that probably could be saved for the Black Frieza arc specifically. I wouldn't mind seeing, because of course, he tells Goku and Vegeta that he found his own specific room of spirit and time, kind of like the hyperbolic time chamber, and he trained there for either 5 or 10 years. I can't remember exactly which one it was. I think it may have been 10 years. And that's how he was able to reach the Black Frieza form. Did he just reach that form alone, or did he have a training partner? Because who the hell is strong enough to train or spar with Frieza at that level of power? So, I feel like that would be a super cool, little one-off, and just showing us his training, ending the session of him literally, walking out of the room of spirit of time and sensing Goku and Vegeta and Granola fighting. What is that dude's name? gas. And speaking of gas, you know, I wouldn't mind maybe seeing a little side training issue with him too. Maybe show us how he got as strong as he did before they utilized the wish to make him the strongest person in the universe. Because clearly, I mean, he was already strong before that. Maybe show how he got to where he is after he took his defeat from Bardock. That would be a little cool one-off as well. You know, I guess what I'm saying is we've seen so much from the heroes of Dragon Ball. I kind of want to see a little bit more from the villain side of Dragon Ball, man. That would be super cool for me. At least, you know, kind of like the Star Wars situation where sometimes we get those one-offs from like the Vader perspective or the Darth Maul perspective or Palpatine perspective. Same thing here. Let's get a specific story focusing on Frieza or Gas or Granola or whoever. That would be super cool for me personally. Okay, that's really all I had to talk about with the Manga Man, but since we're here and I got your attention, let's just do some housekeeping here real quick. As I made an announcement on a post not too long ago, LS Studio has officially closed down. Bandai got a hold of them with their lawyers and grabbed them by the balls and shut them down. So if you have not picked up the Moro figure yet, I would be within your best interest to try to track him down at your cheapest leisure possible. Honestly, I don't see an official version of a figure arts version of him coming out anytime soon, at least not until after the saga comes out with the anime, so keep that in mind. Also, I had a few people ask me if I wanted the Manga Goku, some peeps that had bought one that had extra. I appreciate the offer, but like I stated in my previous video, I am not interested in paying 1 cent over retail for this guy. So I mean, at least unless it's 80 to 90 bucks. Listen, I appreciate the concern, but I'm just not interested, man. You know, that was one that I wasn't even sure I wanted for myself specifically. So I'm for damn sure I'm not paying double or anything, not 1 penny over what it was originally supposed to cost. So yeah, just throwing that information out there. Thank you though for the people that reached out. Also had some people reach out to me about Glorio as well. You know, I appreciate the 24, I think it was 25 likes that I got on the post asking if y'all would actually be interested in seeing that review if I picked him up. You know, I wanted at least 50 likes on that post and I only got half of that. So he's 95 bucks. Like I said, he was a cool character on Daima, but just not enough for me specifically to, you know, drop $100 for a character. But quite frankly, I just didn't even really care to get. You know, if it was 10 years ago and, you know, the figure arts figures were only like $45 to $50 a piece, sure, I would have went ahead and picked them up. But I'm not paying $100 for a character that, you know, I just don't really care to get. Nothing personal. I still love Dragon Ball, and I really enjoyed Dragon Ball Daima. But, you know, you got to put your foot down somewhere, man, and it just wasn't enough for me. Maybe if he would have came with some lightning, if he would have came with some more accessories, but literally it's just a figure with his gun, and that's just not enough for me. So, yeah. And that's going to wrap us up here, man. So as always, you know, if you appreciated the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. I have been a fan of this manga, of this anime, of the action figures since I was an 8-year-old boy, since Dragon Ball came over to the States. And I have no qualms or qualms to stop anytime soon. One more, you know, little tidbit of information. If you enjoy my content and you really stay to the end of the video for all of this content, I really do appreciate you. I don't get paid based off of how many views that's on the video. I get paid based off of the watch time and how many ads are viewed with each piece of content. So, you know, I know that if you see like a big view count on specific videos of your favorite content creator, that looks sexy. But, you know, how a content creator gets paid is if you watch the video from start to finish. And if you hit the like button and if you comment something on the video, that's how YouTube figures out that they need to keep pushing the video out into the algorithm. You know, clicks help as well, but really in reality, it's the watch time that really pushes the video further out into the algorithm. So I mean, if you're watching 10, 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes of one specific content creator, that tells YouTube that you're really enjoying their stuff and they will continue to push it out into the algorithm. I know you probably don't need this lesson from me specifically, but I just figured that I would say it for peeps that are interested in, you know, starting their own, you know, content creation journey. I've been getting questions about that lately here as well, so figured I'd maybe start trying to give little tips and tricks towards the end of this video for people that are really interested in starting this YouTube journey. I've been on it for about 9 going on 10 years now, so, and then YouTube, it definitely goes without saying at this point in my journey that YouTube really did change my life from a financially and an emotional and a spiritual aspect of my life. Like I said, or like I always say, I do have my regular 9 to 5 career, and I do have another side job that's basically another full-time job as well. But as we all know, 2026 society, especially when it comes to finances, is crazy. So any little extra, cent or money definitely helps out the situation as much as possible, especially if you collect $100 action figures. Just saying. So, all right, just extending a bit of gratitude on this happy Sunday. This once we figure out that our favorite manga is finally coming back, at least for a special. So, and with that, we'll end it there, man. As always, you can follow me at youtube.com/martech79. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, thank you guys for the years of support, and I will see y'all on the next one. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.